Imagine waking up before the sun rises, your eyes burning, your brain foggy, and dragging yourself into an 8 a.m. class you paid thousands of dollars for but can barely stay awake in. We've all been there, and while many people think this is just a part of being a college student, the truth is that early class times do far more harm than we realize. Today I want to persuade you that colleges should start classes later in the day, not because students are lazy, but because overwhelming scientific evidence shows that later start times improve academic performance, reduce mental health struggles, and help students actually get the education that they're paying for. As a student myself, I know firsthand how hard it is to balance homework, work, a social life, and sleep. Waking up early feels less like a choice and more like a punishment. But beyond personal experience, the research on this topic is clear, and it applies to every one of us in higher education. Let's start with the facts. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine recommends that young adults get 7 to 9 hours of sleep, yet over 60% of college students fail to meet that goal on a regular basis. Why? Because our schedules fight our biology. Studies show that people ages 18 to 25 naturally have later sleep cycles due to changes in melatonin release. In other words, your brain literally isn't ready to sleep early, no matter how hard you try. When colleges schedule classes at 7 or 8 a.m., they aren't creating discipline, they're creating sleep deprivation. And the consequences are serious. Increased anxiety and depression, lower energy and motivation, higher dropout rates, worse memory and focus, and a higher risk of car accidents from driving tired. This isn't laziness. This is biology colliding with an outdated educational schedules. Schools have pushed start times later and have seen immediate benefits. Research from the University of Washington found that when classes started just 1 hour later than average, grades improved dramatically by over 4%. Students weren't suddenly studying harder, they were just simply awake. Another study found that cognitive functioning, memory retention, and class participation all improved with just more morning rest. Think about it. How are students supposed to think critically, write essays, and engage in discussions when their bodies are still half asleep? If colleges truly care about student success, then the schedule should reflect what actually helps students learn and not what fits outdated traditions. We hear all the time that colleges are struggling with student mental health. Counseling centers are overcrowded, stress levels are high, and burnout is normal. But shifting class times later is one of the cheapest, simplest changes colleges can make to improve student well-being. It doesn't require hiring new staff, it doesn't require building anything, and it doesn't require increasing tuition. All it requires is rearranging the schedule, and the payoff is enormous. Better rest means less depression, more emotional stability, more motivation, more engagement, and healthier academic habits. A well-rested student is a healthier student, and a healthier student succeeds. Some people argue that later start times reduce productivity or interfere with jobs and sports, but this fear doesn't match real outcomes. When universities shift class times, students simply adjust. They keep their jobs, they keep their routines, and what changes is not their hustle, what changes is their brain being fully awake when they need it the most. And if the goal is to prepare students for the real world, wouldn't it make sense to teach them while they're functioning at their best rather than at their worst? Picture this: waking up naturally, not exhausted but refreshed, walking into class with a clear head, feeling engaged instead of drained, actually learning and not just surviving. This isn't unrealistic, it's not expensive, and it's not impractical. It's a choice that colleges can make right now to support the success and well-being of students that they claim to serve. So today I'm asking you to rethink what normal should look like, because sleep is not optional. Success shouldn't depend on exhaustion, and college schedules shouldn't fight against the silence. Later start times don't make students lazy, they make students unstoppable. Thank you.